I'm Susan Arnall with the Right to Life League, and Greg Burt from the California Family Council is showing me how to find California legislation that's currently in process with the California Assembly or the California Senate. Hi, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me. Look forward to giving you a little insight on how to look up bills and search for bills at the state capitol in Sacramento. So, are you ready?
I hope so.
All right. Well, hey, I think most people start at Google, want to know how to get there. So all you got to do is type in California legislation, right?
Okay.
And up pops, it should pop up. First, you got the leginfo.legislature.ca.gov website. Okay, so this link right here sends you to the search engine. This is the place where you find everything, right? You can find bill information, California laws, you can track what's happening. So
if you know how to look.
Yes. Okay. So if you're interested in legislation, why don't you come over here to this little button on the top, this tab, and click on bill information. All right. Now, this is the search engine where you can search by bill number, right? So if you know the bill number, you type that in here, and you can type in all kinds of different bills, AB, SB. Sometimes there's some other codes.
Reminder, assembly, AB is assembly bill. That means it's in the lower house in the assembly. It's kind of like the equivalent of the federal, house, right? Senate bill is the California Senate, which is the equivalent of the federal Senate. So assembly is the House version for people if we're not completely conversant with the different language.
That's right. And then over here, you have the session year. Now, the legislature operates in 2-year sessions. So every 2 years, all the bill numbers change and they start over again. But
well, that makes it even more interesting and confusing, doesn't it?
That's right. So currently we're in the 2001, 2022 year. But as you scroll down, you can go back all the way back to the year 2000 to look up legislation.
Okay.
Right.
Good to know. So you could go back if you wanted to for historical purposes.
That's
but
right.
Right now we're looking at the current year, which is 2021 to 2022. That's the session that we're in now.
That's right. So here's a bill that we've been following. It's a bill that requires insurance companies to pay for all abortions for free.
Right. So abortions for all for free.
So you all have to hit the search button, and it pops right up, right?
There's that short title at the top, and
that's right. So these
all
little
these tabs.
These little tabs. So you got the text of the bill. So if you scroll down, you can see what the text of the bill looks like. Now you see this red and this blue. This is some changes that have been happening since the bill's being introduced. So they've taken out this language and they replaced it with the blue language. These are amendments, so you can see those, right? So the bill has changed a little bit since it was introduced, but the original intent of the bill, it remains the same. And right here, you can see who introduced the bill. So
Senator Gonzalez was the primary person who kicked off this effort.
That's right. And then you also have principal co-authors, right? And then you have just the regular co-authors, right? And there's a bunch of
everybody's jumping on board. They all want to be part of this. Okay.
That's right. These are all big Planned Parenthood supporters, and I'm sure they get donations. So they all want to show that they're supportive of this bill, right? Okay, now, but if you want to know what's happening, you can click here on the votes, right? And you can watch the bill, and it started, looks like it started in the Health Committee, Senate Health Committee, and you can see that it passed. A yay vote is a yes vote, a no vote is a 2, and then in VR is no vote recorded.
Right.
So that means
they weren't there. They abstained.
Either they weren't there or they sat there and didn't want to take a position on the vote, the bill.
We don't know which it was. They might not have been there. Could have been sick. Who knows? But for some reason, somebody abstained.
That's right. So you can see the bills here, the legislators who voted yes, the legislator voted no. So this is how you follow the bill that's going through the process. You can see that it just came out of the Senate Appropriations Committee.
Just days
right?
ago. Yeah.
Just days
On
ago.
Friday. On
All right.
Friday, the 20th, May 20th, it just came out of the Senate. So it goes, so this legislation, it goes through multiple committees, if you will. It started in the Health Committee, the Senate Health Committee, and now then it got bounced to the Appropriations Committee. And appropriation usually means money, right? Where are we going to appropriate the money for this? Is that what that means?
Yeah, usually they deal with the cost, right? They deal with
Yes.
the cost of the bill.
And
So,
it's
but
just
now,
passed out of the Senate Appropriations
and then
Committee
now
on
all the
Friday.
senators are going to get a chance to vote on it on the
Okay.
floor, right? They'll have a floor vote. And it has to get a majority vote to move on to the next stage, which is to the other house, the
So
assembly.
how do we find out when that floor vote's going to happen? How do we know, how can we find out when the next event is going to happen so that I could, if I wanted to, write a letter, which we've explained in a prior video, how to log in, register yourself as an individual or as a business, and to weigh in on legislation. And you usually have to submit those comments in a written form about a week before a vote. But how do I know from this point when I need to submit that letter?
Well, now that the legislation is past the committees and now the Senate is going to vote on it, they have to get all their bills out of committee, out of the floor into the next house by June 4th, right?
So we're in the countdown right now.
So over the next 2 weeks, we don't know when this bill is going to be voted on. It could be voted on at any moment, and you won't know until it happens. Every day, some legislators will say, skip my bill today and we'll deal with it tomorrow. And so it's really, it's hard to tell. So
much for transparency, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, there's no telling when the bill will come up for a floor vote. But you reach out to your legislators because there's no public comment anymore. So they're not taking any more public comment in a hearing. It's just now up to the legislators to decide. So you can see the history of the bill as it's moving through the committees. This is a bill. These are bill analysis that are put together. This is what the legislators actually read. They don't read the language so much of the bill. They read what these floor analysis say, what the bill does. So if you want some more details, and you can also find out who's supporting or opposing these bills. And you click on these links and it'll download the file. You can compare versions of the legislation. You click on this little thing, you can see here's what the bill looked like when it was introduced, and then it was amended on April 12th, right? You can compare those versions. The status tells you where the bill is. So House location is in the Senate, and it gives a brief description of authors and co-authors, and a little overview of what the history has been. And that's pretty much it for. So now let's say you don't know.
Can you give us an example of, let's see, because next time around now, as you said, at this point in time, end of May, all of these different bills are kind of pending, waiting for a full vote. And we as individuals or as businesses, we can no longer make a comment. We can't send in a letter. So could you show us how earlier in the process, could you give us an example of when we would be able to, through the process, find a bill and say, oh, okay, at this point, we need to now start submitting our letters or our comments?
Well, let's say you pick, let's pick another piece of legislation that we've been following.
So this is AB 1084. So this is in the assembly.
That's right. That's right. You wonder, okay, this bill was introduced, when was it introduced? It was introduced on February 18th, right? And you want to know what's happening with the bill. Well, as soon as the down here, it'll say referred to, it'll tell you what committees it was referred to in this history action, right?
So we go look down at the history of the bill, and we can find out when it was referred to a particular committee by looking at the history.
That's right. And it'll tell you what right here, what committee it's in. So once you know what committee it's in, then you know that's the committee you need to send your letters to, right? And then you'd have to actually go to the committee website to find out when that bill is going to be heard. They list on each of the websites for the committees when they get ready to have hearings, they'll list all the bills that are going to be heard that day.
We also know from our other video that you could, earlier in the process, you can search by a bill, right? You can go in AB 1084, you can search that, and you can show us how to click on something if we wanted to make a comment there, if we wanted to register a comment earlier.
Sure. Now, if you don't know, if you're just looking for bills in general, like you're concerned about bills regarding abortion, you could do.
Okay, so now we're going to do a keyword search. So now we're at the landing place just for all the bills, and you can put in a keyword like Greg just did for abortion, for as an example.
Right. So here are all the bills that included the word abortion this year. Now we just looked at this bill, right? The SB 245, but you got a resolution here that's actually celebrating Roe versus Wade decision. And you have all the different bills that were introduced this year that use the word abortion in it. So that's one way to look for it. But, they refer to abortion in different ways. You could also look up reproductive health care. This is a euphemism for abortion, right?
Yes, reproductive health care means the right to kill a baby in the womb. That's just it's a nicer way of saying.
That's right. They're not talking about prenatal care.
Right. No, it's not. Right. Yeah. Reproductive health care is how to not reproduce.
That's right. And so you do a search on that and you'll find more bills.
Even more.
So these are different bills than the previous. So this is just one way to look for bills. You can also find bills by author. Like say you heard so-and-so introduced a bill and
you click on it right there and you can go by, these are all different assembly persons or senators.
Yeah. Let's say you want to know what your member is introduced. Say, I want to know
let's say your member is Patricia Bates, right? Okay. So maybe that's
Orange County. So you search on that. Mm-hmm. And you can see all the bills she has introduced this year, and you can see what she cares about.
Yeah, she's been busy.
She's been busy. That they all get like 15 to 20 bills they get to introduce, right? Which is a lot when you consider there's 120 legislators.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You can add those up.
You'd think we have enough laws already, but no.
Detailed searches, but like with this. You
want to show us how to do
phrases that include this or don't include this word. That's right.
You want to show us how to
all of these words have to be in. Yeah, like you can use abortion, let's say Roe and Wade. All the bills, they have to have all of these words. Or you could down here, you list out some words and all you're looking for is a phrase that includes them or has one of them, could use the same three words and but doesn't have to include them.
Well, hit that search and see how the all words, and we got 2 bills. Okay. So now what if you do the very same words and phrases in the other boxes? So abortion or Roe or Wade. Let's see the difference. So doing it with the and feature, we got 2 bills. Let's see if there's any difference in the other category. Maybe not. Ooh, more.
You got more. So you got every bill that listed the word abortion, every listed
or Roe or
now you got some other things that don't have anything to do, like wading pools. That's
right, because Wade is part. So it depends on your search engine, but that's how you find bills. So there you go.
There you go.
And is there an advanced search? You want to show us how to do that?
All right. Advanced search. You can look by author, right? Wow. These are different things you can look like, I think all together.
By session, the current session is right now.
Measures, if you had, particular bills that you were all looking at, if you want to include the bills from certain authors, and you click several of those, and you have particular dates. This is really detailed. I've never
This
really
is, yeah,
used
this is kind of above my pay grade.
Yeah. Location, you want to know all the bills that are
All
like
the stuff.
So that's super detailed. So I usually don't get into that.
No,
Text
the best
search
thing
or
is
bill
bill
search
search or the text search. So you can go to bill search and put in either the Assembly bill number AB, or the Senate bill number SB, and you've got a number, or you can do a simple keyword search of text to find bills that are currently going on.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And we're going to do another video so you can look for that on basically how to call in to a hearing that's in progress. So we'll see you on the other side for that.